Hello, JayborinoPlays here. Welcome back. This is Warcraft 3. We're playing the prologue campaign, Exodus of the Horde. We're on hard difficulty, but I don't think that matters in the prologue at all. 3 days later, near the Lordaeron coast.
It's been 3 days, and this prophet has yet to show himself. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake by trusting you.
War Chief, the clans are assembling as you ordered, but it will take them some time to reach us.
Then we must prepare this camp immediately. I want my warriors to have food and proper lodgings when they arrive.
Yes, War Chief.
Warrior, has there been any word from Grom Hellscream? He and the Warsong clan were supposed to have been here by now.
No, War Chief. We haven't heard from Hellscream in some time.
Damn it, Grom. Where the hell are you?
Something is doing.
Okay, so
The
long...
blinking button at the top of the screen indicates that your quest journal has been updated. To find out more about your objectives, click on the quest button.
So we got long, drawn-out macro tutorial here.
Once a peon has been ordered to harvest gold, you will automatically travel back and forth between the gold mine and your closest great hall. Here are a few additional peons.
Okay, yeah, we know how to mine. Thanks,
The amount of
narrator.
gold that you currently possess is displayed in the upper right portion of your screen. As peons return to your great hall with gold, your gold stockpile increases. Training a unit takes time. When your great hall is selected, you can see a progress indicator on the bottom right portion of your screen.
Okay, the music is loud. No, this is what I normally have the music set to when I play custom stuff. I think this is fine. Just I guess leave your feedback. The issue is I'm going to be pre-recording a lot of this, so if y'all, let me know how the sound is. Hopefully I'll see it in time to make some impactful changes.
Additional orc burrows will have to be constructed. Now click on the build structure button in the command card.
But I'll probably be recording like entire campaigns at a time. So it's mostly because I want to keep up with a consistent release schedule.
Buildings. You must gather more lumber from the nearby forests. To harvest lumber, select a peon and right-click on a nearby tree.
Okay, so that's our second. That's like our... Trees are like minerals. Gold is like Vespene. It's just sort of flipped in terms of their importance in this game, right? Because this is... they both can run out to an extent, but you can kind of see how, like, you have one source of gold. That's how it's like Vespene in a way, and then these are like the minerals that will, be depleted over time. Whatever. It's not exactly the same, but you kind of get the point. So let's get a few more guys on lumber so we can speed up the process of actually building stuff. We just need a little bit more lumber.
You will automatically travel back and forth between the forest and your closest great hall.
What do you want?
And then what I'll probably do, you need like 5 grunts. I'll probably just make 4 of them before we trigger the bridge getting raised, and then we can send them up here to kill these creeps and get a potion or some stupid crap.
Let's get on with it.
So I'm trying to think what else about this series. Yeah, so the idea is I'll probably record like the entirety of the human campaign and then release it, and then I might take a break from releasing while I record the undead campaign. It's mostly because I want to keep to a pretty consistent release schedule and have there be, if there are going to be breaks, I want them to be in between the campaigns as opposed to in between the middle of a campaign. So like I might just release the prologue, and then there'll be a week or so, and then I'll release the human campaign, then there'll be a week or so, then I'll release the undead campaign. And with that type of schedule, I think we could probably end up releasing the entirety of Reign of Chaos Frozen Throne right around the middle of November, possibly the end of November, which is when I anticipate Warcraft 3 Reforged to be released. And if there's a little overlap, then so be it. That's fine. Then, I'll start playing Reforged separately, maybe on stream or something, and release those on YouTube separately. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab barracks. We can make 2 of them because we're not using our lumber for anything else.
To see what upgrades are available,
Except for these.
Appear as buttons in the War Mills command card. To research an upgrade, left-click on the one you want to purchase.
Where you going, buddy? It's weird. A little weird.
Spirits.
So as I had mentioned at the end of the last video, or the beginning of it rather, is there are 3 missions from the demo of Exodus of the Horde. I have not played them, but I have downloaded them. and they have a voiceover to them. I got them from Hive. I'll have to replay these first 2 missions off camera to progress. Actually, I can just unhide the campaign buttons on the screen, then I'll just lose some of these items that Thrall had. But the other thing with that is as we play those missions, we won't be able to keep the items that we pick up for them for Thrall. They won't carry over into the Orc campaign later. But that's fine, and that's possibly why they weren't released as part of the official prologue. I mean, I think they're official maps, but they're not part of the campaign launcher, and as such, like, your bank data doesn't carry over, etc., etc. Anyway, let's get going here. So grunts are 3, aren't they? Yeah.
Continue producing grunts until you reach your quest requirement. You have just placed a rally point for your structure. Whenever a unit finishes training from this building, you will automatically travel to the rally point's location. To place a rally point, select one of your unit-producing structures and right-click on the ground where you want the rally point to appear.
Yep. I will say one thing that Arcane has taught me is how to manage my upkeep better, like staying in no upkeep for pretty much as long as possible. I mean, it's going to be different in these vanilla campaigns where we might want to rush and go, like, not waste time and actually make units quickly and go. But it's also taught me how to manage my resources a bit better, where, like, in Arcane, I realize that I float a lot of money, but the idea is, like, I know how to spam an army out and spend my money when necessary. So, like, even just getting 2 production structures instead of just sitting on 1 could be worthwhile. It really depends, though, because I haven't played these maps for a long time. So it's kind of hard for me to gauge... It's kind of hard for me to gauge what it's going to be like in terms of how our economy is going to be, because the economy is going to be a lot more restrictive compared to what we're used to, I think. Again, and that's playing... Like, most of the macro that we've played recently is in Arcane. We've also played Malfurion's Quest, which I think was a lot more like a vanilla campaign in a macro sense, but obviously the faction was totally different. It's gonna be different. That's all I can say. It's gonna be a little different. Let's just move right in the back here, and we'll kill this jerk first.
Let's get on this.
There we go. Pick up this. That'll be helpful for later. And then we can go up and queue up 2 more grunts. We need 5 total. We'll have 6, and then we'll be able to get down there and start killing the humans. And that'll be it for part 2. Again, I wanted to do, like, a full playthrough. So, like, the point, in a way, is to beat it on hard, but the other is just to have, like, a nice full playthrough of Warcraft 3. And it's not as satisfying to me as the way I played StarCraft 2, but in a way... Did it complete? Oh, it was the upgrade. Now we're done there. But in a way, again, I want to make sure I complete all the missions and have that completionist feel to the series.
You orcs are in violation of the Alliance Internment Act. We've already captured one of your leaders. If you surrender now, we'll spare your lives.
War Chief, they say they've captured one of our leaders. Maybe they're referring to Grom.
I hope not. But if they have captured Hellscream, I'll make them regret it. Loktar Ogar! Come, my warriors! We must drive the humans back!
It's certainly nice to not have to read everything aloud. That gets tiresome. That gets a little tiresome. They don't have defend. Our watchtowers are actually good here. Pew, 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 pew. Alright, so our grunts are just objectively better than footmen. Also, we have 1-1. But the grunts cost more. They cost more resources and also food.
The wretched humans have been destroyed.
Move Thrall and the rest of your forces across the bridge and locate Grom.
All right, let's get serious. We're getting more guys coming out. More grunts.
One of your structures was damaged during the fight. To repair a damaged building, select the peon, click the repair button, and then left-click on the desired structure.
Don't speak to me about doing that, narrator. Don't tell me that I need to repair this watchtower. We're not going to get attacked again. That's a waste of resources. My viewers would put me on blast. Jayborino, you're wasting all that money. You're repairing a building that doesn't even need to be repaired. Don't you know that you're never going to get attacked again? So why would you waste the money? This is deeply important to me. That's not how you all sound to me. I want you to know that. So, I think we get Shaman, and Shaman are interesting because they do piercing damage in Reign of Chaos, and I feel like Shaman typically aren't as useful until they're masters, right? I don't know how I mean, Purge is important in very specific circumstances where there are a lot of summoned units, but it's a single target, so it's not like... I don't think we're going to be spamming Purge to kill skeletons, nor are we going to be fighting many skeletons as orcs. Anyway, so... I mean, do you fight the undead a lot as orcs in the orc campaign? I don't think so, right? It's mostly night elves and humans. It might only be night elves and... I don't remember. That's kind of why we're playing through this again, so we can refresh our memories in that way. So, Purge, it like slows movement speed, but that's it. The only positive is, again, they do piercing damage.
Your army has grown to such a large size that it now requires a portion of your income to sustain it. This maintenance cost is referred to as upkeep.
This maintenance cost is referred to as the thing that about the game engine where it would run like crap if we allowed too many units on the map at any given moment, so we had to implement this to ensure that the player never had too much stuff, but we're going to cover it up and say, oh, we want it to be a more micro-focused game about individual units.
Yes. For honor.
Anyway, it's a little of both, right? Obviously, there were technical limitations, so that was probably the main driver. But I think as they experimented more, they did want to ensure that the player had to negotiate maps with fewer things. And I think that is a positive... that's a positive idea to Warcraft, to Warcraft 3 at least. It was certainly different in Warcraft 2, where you just had to build as much shit as possible. Reminds me, I gotta get back to, I gotta get back to Warcraft 2. I gotta Beyond the Dark Portal playthrough that we gotta get to.
Spellcasters at the same time.
Master?
It often becomes necessary to quickly switch between them and cast their individual spells. By using the subgroup interface, you can do so without having to try to select them individually.
I was waiting for these riflemen.
Notice that the currently selected units are displayed in the bottom middle portion of your screen by little portraits.
All right.
One of the units.
All right. Okay, narrator. I didn't talk over you for a while, but like, seriously, we know how to play. We can ignore this man. Constantly losing my train of thought because this guy's like, hey, press the right mouse button to go into the fog of war. Like, come on, dude. I understand, though. You got to remember what this stuff is like for someone who's literally never played this game or anything like it before. They need to be taught how to play, right? You got to tell them, hey, this is what total blackness is versus fog of war. I get it.
Let's get on my power.
We got a lot of stuff.
How can I help? I am.
So what else? So shamans also get
Honor, direct me. Let's get on with
lightning shield at apprentice level, which to be honest is another spell which I am not thrilled with. It's good to put on back lines like priests, sorceresses, right? But you're probably going to end up doing more harm than good in many cases if you put it on your own melee units.
Yes.
So,
Let's get on.
again, I'm not a big fan of anything that shamans have. Like, again, if we purge these guys, it would do nothing.
We found where they're holding Grom, but the area is protected by fortified guard towers.
Then destroy them. Hillscream must be free.
But removing like an inner fire buff from knights is very positive. So that's something we might want to use purge on, or just summoned units, enemy creeps that have. Again, I don't know where anything is on these maps. Let's make sure that we're exploring a little bit.
Direct me.
Anyway, the point is, I'm not thrilled with Shaman. I don't plan on building them until we can get them to a mastery level, because Bloodlust is an insanely powerful spell, whereas Lightning Shield and Purge are a little underwhelming. But the fact that they do piercing damage instead of magic damage at this juncture in Reign of Chaos does make them at least a little bit more useful from range. And, like, old Jayborino would probably try to micro these guys out. New Jayborino's like, look, we're going to win the mission no matter what if we lose these silly shaman because the towers decide to focus down our weak units like this guy. It's fine. It's only like in micro missions later on where they're a bit longer and you actually need a lot more units to survive will I be more concerned about actually keeping these units alive in individual scenarios.
Luckily, they only injured my pride. Great, because we're getting out of here now. We're leaving the human lands for good. Finally, follow me. I have an idea. We can set sail On the humans' own ships.
Perfect. But we'll need to wait for the rest of them. The Horde is assembled, War Chief. We await only your command.
That's convenient timing.
Go, young pro. Sail west to the lands of Kalimdor. It is there that you will find your destiny. It is there that your people's salvation will be assured.
I really wish that the voice acting was on a separate sound channel than the sound effects, because again, like, the music overpowers them during the cinematics. I could turn the music down, but then it would be too quiet during the rest of the missions. Alright, so we will not be going into Scourge of Lordaeron next time. I will be going back over to Frozen Throne to play a custom campaign, as the custom campaign menu is only added as part of Frozen Throne, and we will be playing the 3 final missions of the prologue campaign, which again were released as part of the demo of Warcraft 3, but not shipped with the actual release. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing next time. So even though, again, we're not really getting into the meat of the hard difficulty, whatever, we are going to be showing some stuff that folks may have not seen before, and hopefully that's interesting. All right, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.